In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to finish successfully the 3 tables that we have for payroll. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you my table, and then I'm going to explain how the formulas work in every single cell. Okay, so first, it's very simple. You just follow the example that I had, and then you just put your name, last name, wage, all of this, the headings. Then you put your name, your last name. Don't put anything on this yet. I'm just going to tell you how to do it. Then, yeah, just finish all the table, right? Make sure the names, like the headers, are white. And to do that, you just go here, bold. Then you change the color right here. Then the field color is going to be green or whatever other color you like. I want to trump your creativity. Okay, so as soon as we do all of that, the formatting and the table as it is, as I have it right here, then we're going to see where we got this information from. So first, your name, last name, perfect. No, the wage, this wage right here, we took this number from the government's page. The government is the one that tells us which one is the minimum wage. Now, from there on, you can pay more to your workers, right? But you can never pay less than the minimum wage. And it also depends on the character of the job or the employment, right? You're not going to put the minimum. You're not going to pay the minimum wage to, let's say, a professional. Somebody who went to university for several years to learn something, then they come out with all this knowledge. You're not going to pay them the minimum wage. You're going to pay them a lot more. But anyways, that is just an ethical issue that I want you guys to keep in mind. Now let's go to the topic. We're going to talk about what to put in every single one of these cells. So here we put the minimum wage, as well as here, right? Minimum wage goes here. Let me see if I can just get something here. Just give me 1 second. No, I don't. Okay, that's fine. So right here, the minimum wage, that's good. Now, wage per day, right here is literally the wage, which is this one, divided by 30. Why? Because there's 30 days on in a month, right? So you literally put in here equals C4, which is this one here, right? So equals, then click here, divided by, remember the sign for division in Excel or spreadsheets is a slash, and divided by 30. That's going to give you the wage per day. Now, if you want the wage per hour, which is the next cell, is going to be divided by the amount of hours, right, in a month, which in this case, we have it at 240. So it will be C4, which is this one, divided by 240. You have the formula right there. Then the transportation subsidy, this is also a number that we gathered from the government page. Also remember to use this right here, right? The format currency to format all of these cells. Okay, now the quantity in ordinary hours, let's put 1 just to see how much 1 hour is. According to the government, the ordinary overtime pay is 4,313 pesos with 10 cents, right? So we have to put that in there manually. Now, 1 quantity, like 1 hour, 1 night hour is paid at 6,038 pesos and 35 cents. And then 1 ordinary Sunday or holiday hour is this much. So we literally put that in there as a number. Yeah, this is not a formula, it's just a number. Now the quantity 1 hour night, Sunday, holiday hours is 7,246 pesos and 2 cents. So we put that in there also manually. Now vacation, also manually because we take this from the government page. Then provisions. The provisions are uniforms. Yep, anything that even and keep this in mind, even if the worker is not going to be using any uniform, well, they have to have some sort of clothes, even if they are their clothes. Yeah, that is their uniform. They have to be clothed. I mean, you're not gonna have somebody naked. Let's say, for example, if you're hiring somebody to clean up your house, you're not gonna do that. So they are wearing their own clothes, and you have to pay for that because that is considered a uniform. So you have to give them the uniform, which is 3 uniforms per year. In this case, it's going to be $50 per uniform. So 3 uniforms would be $50 times 3, which goes in this cell right here. As you can see in here, equals, that's the formula, equals 3, which is 3 uniforms, times D11. D11 is this cell right here. Look, D11. And that cell is what the uniform costs. So 3 times 50,000 equals 150,000, right? Now per month is this right here, right? Divided by 12. Why divided by 12? Because it is 3 uniforms per year. So this is how much it costs per year. Now if you want it per month, a year has 12 months. So you divide that number by 12, and this is what we get. Now this right here, these provisions, I put it all the way right here. Provisions total, right? So right here, I click literally equals in the formula section. I click equals, and then D13, or you just click on the cell D13, which is this one here, right? So that way, I'm referencing that cell straight from here. Now let's talk about the rest of the obligations, which are this ones right here. And I'm missing an A, I can tell, so I'm just going to fix that right now. Obligations, perfect. Now let's talk about the severance pay. The severance pay is C4. Let's double click on it to see the formula. C4 is this wage, right? So it's what you're paying the worker. This is what you're paying them divided by 12. Why? Because according to the government, in that page that I gave you guys, the severance pay is 1 month of pay per year. So you get that 1 month of pay, which is this one, 828,116 divided by 12, right? So we can get the value per month. So you got it right here. So wage divided by 12 is severance pay. Now the severance interest pay, that is the interest that this pay accumulates. Why? Because I'm paying it per year. So now this interest is, according to the government, is 12%. Yeah, it's 12% of that amount. So if you notice the formula I'm putting here, the C4, which is the wage, times 12%, because that is the interest amount, is 12% of this, and then all of this divided by 12. Why? Because this 12% of this is per year, but I want it per month. So since I want it per month, it's divided by 12. So that's the formula that goes in here in severance interest pay. Now you might be wondering, why do you want everything per month? Why? Because I'm doing the calculations per month, right? So if I'm doing it per month, everything has to be on the same level per month. Now the bonus, I'll double click on the bonus. The bonus is the same thing. It's 1 month of pay divided by 12, right? Because it's 1 month of pay per year. A year has 12 months, so it is divided by 12 to get the monthly rate. So this one here, the bonus and the severance pay should be the same, right? You have to pay that to the person that worked for you and that you are liquidating. Okay, now the provision total, this right here is the total of all the provisions. The provisions are, let's double click on it, this one right here, right? So per month, this already told you, these provisions are given by the government. You have to pay 3 uniforms per year, and you remember all of that. So I equal this cell right here so I can put it there. Now we're done with this portion. Now let's go to the other payments portion. The health. Now the government says that the health, 8.5% should be paid by the employer, right? 8.5% of what? Of the minimum wage, or of the wage that you're paying the person. We're paying them this, so I'm literally, if you notice the formula, I am multiplying that, right here, 828,116 pesos times 8.5%. That's going to give me this total right here, right? Then the retirement. Now the retirement, the government says is also 12%. But of what? It's 12% of the wage. So I get the wage, multiply that by 12%, and that is the retirement that I have to put into these persons when they retire, right? Keep in mind that health and retirement is a shared cost, right? We pay a portion, we pay a percentage, but they also, like the workers also pay another percentage. And we're gonna see that later in deductions. For now, just keep in mind these formulas. Now the risk, we also have to consider the risk. So depending on the worker, like what type of work they're doing, as I said before, imagine somebody's cleaning up a window. Yes, that's cool. That's probably risk A because it's just cleaning up a window, right? Nothing could go wrong. But if this window is in the 30th floor of a building, then that risk all of a sudden becomes really high. So you have to pay them more, right? So it all depends on what kind of work this person is performing that this category is found. You can also find these categories in that website that I gave you of the government. Now, this particular person, the risk category is A. So the professional risk is this one, is A, which corresponds to 0.52% of what? Of this, of the wage, right? So I multiply the wage, which is 828,116, times this cell right here, which is 0.52%, right? Now the caja de compensación is 4%. Now all of these are standards are being set by the government, and they're telling us that the caja de compensación is 4%. So now the wage times 4% gives me this total. Now the I or ICBF is 3%. So the wage times 3% gives me this total. And the SENA is 2%. So the wage times 2% gives me this total. Now the totals. Now we're already done with other payments. Now the totals, I'm going to double click on here to see what the formula tells me. As you can see, this formula is adding up a whole lot of cells. Let's see what cells this formula is adding up. Now, when this person stops working for you, you don't want them anymore in your company, or you want them still, you still want to work with them, but you want to liquidate them, right? To rehire them later, or even the next day, which is what I do with my babysitter. So you have to pay them the last month, which is this one, the wage. So 828,116 plus this cell right here, which is a transportation subsidy, right? Then plus ordinary overtime pay. Let's say this person worked only 1 hour of overtime, right? So this one, plus overtime pay, which is this one. Let's say this person worked only 1 night overtime. And then this person also worked only one ordinary, let's say a Sunday, a random Sunday. So plus this one. And also that same Sunday, not that same Sunday, a different, let's say a holiday, I just needed them to work at night. So plus this. Then I also have to pay them the vacation. So plus this cell right here for vacation, plus the obligations, which are all of these cells right here, severance pay, severance interest pay, bonus, and also provision total. Finally, we go to the other payments, and so we had to add up to this total. So plus health, plus retirement, plus professional risk, plus caja de compensación, ICBF, y SENA. All of this added gives me the total that I have to pay this person for para su liquidación, part of my Spanglish. Now this table is done, great. Now let's go to Salario. Now every time you pay you pay this person every month, you're going to give them a slip, yep, to make sure that they understand what you're paying for, and there's no discrepancies, and everything is clear between all parts. So in this table right here, after you fill in all of this, the headings, you made it all pretty with the colors and the bold typefaces and everything. Then you put in here name and last name, Camilo Hoyos, date, you put whatever date this was. I made this yesterday. Now, these two portions right here, this one here is what this worker earned. And this one is what this worker has to pay for. Remember I told you over here, when we're talking about health and retirement, a portion of this we pay for. Yeah, we give to them towards their health and their retirement, but also another portion they pay for it. Yep, for also health and retirement. So this gets deducted. Now, finally, I added here the loan payment. Why? Because this worker came to me asking me for money. They wanted a loan. And I said, yeah, no problem. I'll give you 1 million pesos, which is right here in Prestamo, 1 million pesos. And I gave him an interest, annual interest rate, and also, monthly, which is the same, monthly interest rate, all of these things that we're going to discuss later. So right here is the loan payment. It has to be deducted from their paycheck. Okay, so let's go to what they earned first. The wage. Now this cell right here is literally, you type in equals, which is right here. Notice this formula right here, equals. Then you go to the Liquidación sheet or tab, and then you find this cell, which is where the wage is. So you type in equals, then you go here, and then you look for the wage, which is right here, then you click on this. That way, that cell or that formula is referencing this cell right here. Don't type in numbers because that is absolutely a no-no. Don't type in numbers, type the cell, right? Now it is referencing that cell. Now overtime, guess what? Same thing, equals, then you go to the Liquidación, and then you look for the overtime section, which is right here, overtime. So you type in this, so click on here, plus click on here, plus click on here, plus click on here. So it is referencing 1, 2, 3, 4 cells. These 4 cells is going to give you the total of overtime. Yep. So you have to add all of that up. That's going to give you this total. Now, the transportation subsidy, literally, you click equals, then you go to this tab, Liquidación, and you look for transportation subsidy, which is where, let's go find it. Transportation is right here, transportation subsidy. So I literally click here and then hit enter, done. We have these 3 cells done already. And it was literally just referencing some cells. This is the only sum that we did, right? All the other ones were just literally equal the cell. Now deductions. Now let's see what is going to get deducted from this paycheck. The health. The government says that 4% is paid by this particular person. And so what we do is you take the minimum wage. You can either reference this cell right here because we have the minimum wage right here, or you can reference the cell on this tab right here, the wage. It doesn't matter because they're both the same. And I literally, this one could even be referencing the one that I just said. I'm actually going to do it that way. So I'm going to click equals, then I'm going to go to liquidation, then I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to click enter. There we go. Now the minimum wage is right there. Oh, but wait, I did it wrong because I put it in the wage that I'm paying them. What if I decide to change that in the future? Then I'm going to have the minimum wage wrong. So that has to be equals. This right here is the minimum wage that the government is telling me. So click there, enter, done. Okay, and then, so this right here is the health is literally equals the minimum wage times 4%, right? As you can see here, because 4% is what the government is asking the worker to pay for when it comes to health. Now the retirement, the retirement is also referencing the minimum wage. Now, just to make it easier, I'm just going to reference it right here and not on this tab. So I'm going to repeat this one. So I'm going to click equals. Then I'm going to click on this tab right here. Wait, health equals, this is, okay, there, here, times, and then I'm going to put 4%. Perfect. Now the retirement. Now for the retirement, the government is telling me, and look at this little table right here. It's telling me that if this person earns from 1 to 16 minimum wages, then they have to pay 4% towards their retirement. If they are earning 16 to 17 minimum wages, then they have to pay 4.2. 17 to 18 is 4.4, 18 to 19 is 4.6, and 19 to 20 is 4.8. And more than 20, then they have to add 5% of their wage towards their retirement. In this case, this person earns only one minimum wage, so they have to add 4%, right? So the retirement is literally this one times 4%. So let's go like this, equals this one times this one, enter, right? So that is 33,124 pesos and 64 cents. Now the loan payment, let's see what the loan payment is. Wait, before the loan payment, because the loan payment is the next tab, let's just go right here. Let's keep this in mind first. Let's just keep it in mind, right there in the back of your head so we can go back to it. Now the total earned is literally the sum of all these three, right? So this plus this plus this equals total earned. Very easy, is self-explanatory. Now the total deducted, if I double click on this, is gonna be the sum of all these three, health, retirement, loan payment. Done. Even if you have this empty right here in loan payment, just add it up anyway, because we're gonna use it. Now the total payment, if you double click on this, then what would the total payment be? How much money would you have to pay your worker if you know how much is earning, how much is deducted? Literally is the total earned minus the total deducted, right? In this case, this would be B10 minus D10 is right here in the formula. Very simple. Now we have this sheet already done. Now let's go to Prestamo. Now remember, we have to add the Prestamo here, right? Now Prestamo, in this formula, I'm gonna give it to you. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever come across with. So the capital is the amount of money I'm lending this person. It's gonna be 1 million pesos. So I type in here, 1 million, right? Then, and the way I did it was, I type in literally 1 and then 6 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, enter. Why does it show like pesos already? Because I clicked on this, format as currency, and then it's going to automatically know that it's 1 million pesos. Now interest, annual, also this has to be by law. Don't be charging more, right? Or less, because then you're gonna lose money. Remember, the value of money in time is not the same. It's not the same million pesos you have today as the million pesos you're gonna have in a year, right? The same million pesos you have today in a year is gonna be less than a million, right? So you have to charge interest, but you have to charge it well. Don't be, like those illegal people who lend money at a 25% rate. That's not okay. Like for example, credit cards, not cool. I hate credit cards, by the way. So the annual interest rate by law is 10% in this case. So you put in there 10%, literally 10 and then percent. Then interest per month. Now the interest per month is literally, you get the annual one. How many months are in a year? 12. So the annual divided by 12. Here it is. C3 divided by 12. C3 is this one. So 10% divided by 3 in percentages equals this. 0.83%. Now, the number of payments, you agree with your worker or the person who you are lending the money to. You agree how many months this person is going to take to pay you back. Then you put it here. They said, I can pay you in 12 months or 12 installments. Okay, fine. And you put the 12 right here. And then now the formula to come up with how much this person has to pay per month for the total of the debt to be zero in the end is going to be right here. Now look at this formula, because it is a complicated formula if you're going to try to do it mathematically. But spreadsheets, Excel or Google Sheets or whatever else is going to give you this beauty right here. You click on equals, then PMT, then open parentheses. Then it's going to ask you for the monthly rate, which is the monthly percentage, right? The interest per month. So you put it in there, D3. So you click on D3 right here. Then you have to type in the number of payments. The number of payments is 12. So you type in there E3, which is right here. And then it's going to ask you how much the capital is, or the money that you lent. How much would it be in the end? It would be minus 1 million, right? Because you want the total to be paid. So minus 1 million would be 0. So you type in minus B3, which is B3, 1 million right here, right? So if you type that formula in here, it's going to give you the amount that this person has to pay you in each installment. Every month, this person is going to pay you the same amount of money, 87,915 pesos with 89 cents. Now, when this person pays you this 12 times, the total will be 0 in the end. Now, let's see how. Because clearly, and we can do this very quickly right here. Let's put here totals, right? Now, let's add a formula here saying sum, open parentheses. Now let's add up everything above, right? So those 12 installments added up is going to be 1,054,990 pesos and 65 cents. This is how much the person is going to pay you back when you lend them 1 million pesos. It is more than 1 million. Why? Because 54,990 pesos and 65 cents was paid as interest. Yeah, so this is how much 1 million is going to cost a year from now. Now, let's see how this works. So this person pays you this much. Now, whatever is paid to the interest is right here. Let's see the formula. Let's analyze it. So you have the previous debt, or like whatever you owe so far, which is in this case, because it is the first payment, then you owe everything, right? You just literally paying the first time ever. So you owe everything. So right now you owe 1 million pesos. So you click on F6, which is right here in 1 million, right? Which is the previous, like whatever you previously owed, which is this one, 1 million, times D3. And D3 is the monthly interest, right? Because we're calculating the interest that we're paying, right? So you get 1 million times 0.83%. That's going to give you the interest for that specific period of time, which in this case is 8,333 pesos and 33 cents. Now, why do I put in here the dollar sign? Remember that? The dollar sign is because this cell right here, I want all of these formulas to always reference the same cell. So I don't want this to move down with the formula when I drag it down. So that's why I added this right here. One way of adding it is, and I'm going to delete them so you can see, I'm going to delete those dollar signs. I stand right there between the D and the 3, and I type in F4. If I type in F4, then this and this is going to show up automatically. All right, so equals F6 times $D, $3. That is the formula right there. Now, pago a capital. Let's see how this formula works. Pago a capital is literally what you're paying every month. So what you paid that month minus what you're paying towards the interest, right? Everything else, after you take out the interest, everything else goes towards the capital. So it's going to make this debt go lower each time you pay. The interest, this goes lower. So that's how much it is right here. It is 87,915 minus the interest, which is 8,333 equals this, right? Now, how much is the debt now? If you're paying this much towards the debt, how much is it now? Literally, this, which is the payment towards the capital minus, the debt that your original had, or the previous debt that you originally have, which is 1 million minus what you're paying towards the capital. And that equals 920,000 pesos, 417 and 45 cents, right? So right there, that's the formula, F6 minus E7, very simple. And then you literally grab those formulas from here. Now, keep in mind that in quote, I also have to put in this right here, in la cuota, perdón, the dollar signs, because I want this to always reference the same cells, which is this one here. So I grab all of this and then I drag it down. Yeah, once I drag it down, it's going to apply the formula to everything. Now let's make sure that it is true what I'm saying. So I delete all of this. Wait, I'm going to delete this one too. There you go, delete. So now that I have these formulas here that I just told you about, I select all of them. Remember how to do that. You step on the first one, you click on the first one, then you click on Shift, then Control, and then the arrow to your left. And that's going to select everything at the same time. Then you double click on it, and that's it. Simple. When you double click, the formulas go down. As you can see, this right here, this total is 0. That means I have my formulas correct. If this down here is not 0, then I don't have my formulas right, and I have to double check them. Now let's see how much this person paid in interest. Equals sum, open parentheses, then arrow up, and then Shift, and then I keep going up until I hit all of the cells, enter. The interest is 54,990 pesos and 65 cents, which makes sense, right? Because this is 1 million plus that. Now, how much this person paid in the capital? Now, have a wild guess before I finish the formula. Towards the capital, let me give you a hint. It's exactly what I lent, 1 million. So if this is not 1 million, then I have the formula wrong. 1 million, perfect. So I have 1 million here. And the debt is now 0, so that's great. So let's go back to this salary thing. The loan payment, remember, per month, it has to be equals this one here. Cargo mensual. So equals that. That is the loan payment. Now, don't worry about this ABS that I put in here. This ABS is because I had the formula here without this minus, so it was giving me a negative result. But I don't like a negative, so I put this minus in here. And now I don't have to add the ABS in this formula, right? The ABS is just a way of flipping the sign. And not flipping the sign, just making it positive, right? So if it is negative, if you put ABS before this parenthesis, it's just gonna make it positive. But we don't need that anymore. Okay, so that's it, guys. This sums everything that has to do with these 3 tables. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys learned about Nomina. And that's it. I wish you good luck in the summative. Okay, bye.